This week we celebrate another state champion in the River Valley.
You're watching the River Valley Report.
I'm Leland Barclay, and this is the River Valley Sports Report, where we highlight area teams, athletes, and coaches. The Greenwood Bulldogs won the Class 6A state championship in impressive fashion with a 41-23 win over Little Rock Christian this past Friday night at Little Rock's War Memorial Stadium. Greenwood's defense was stellar, as it has been all season, with Caden Nelms, Landon Nelms, and Brady Mackey intercepting passes, with Cash Archer recording a sack, and then teaming up with defensive mate Brendan Chick for another sack, and then Zach Edwards also had a sack. The defense in all broke up 8 passes on Friday night. And the defense set the tone early. Little Rock Christian was forced to punt to open the game after just 3 plays. Kane Archer answered and hit Grant Carnes with a 27-yard touchdown pass. Greenwood's defense forced another punt, and Archer leaped over the top to cap a 14-play drive for a 14-0 lead by the end of the first quarter.
Kane Archer on the keeper.
Brain Davis ran for 156 yards and a touchdown. Kane Archer ran for 2 scores and threw another touchdown pass to Isaiah Arrington, and the Bulldogs were on the way to the traditional ice bath for head coach Chris Young. We talked to veteran defense coordinator Jason Gill about the defense's performance on Friday night.
Man, they were on a mission this year. You know, it's Greenwood. Right. And we hadn't won one in a couple of years, and I don't think anything was going to keep these kids from winning one. I don't know if it's much, if I did anything. These kids, they just, man, it's a special place, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Kane Archer was voted the game's most valuable player, and he talked about wanting to win the championship for the seniors.
The last 2 years, these seniors, man, like, they've came here and they've lost and they know how it feels. I was here last year with them, and I told them at the beginning of the year, I was like, I'm going to make one promise to y'all, and I'm going to take you to the state championship, and I'm going to get y'all a ring, and that's what we did tonight. Play for those seniors every play. These guys I go to school with every day. I see them every day. I spend tons of hours with them. I know them personally. It feels a little bit different when it's like that. And I love all those seniors. I love every guy that's on this football team that I get to share time with, and it's an amazing experience. We weren't as physical in the second half. We came out and we were like, oh, well, maybe we can just slide by this. And in the fourth quarter, we picked it up. And I told them, I was like, we got to be physical. And we went out there and did that, and then we started scoring. But they changed some stuff up. They wanted it. You could tell they wanted it in the third quarter. And I told my guys the fourth quarter, I was like, listen, like, we got to play, and then we played.
And of course, we talked to Chris Young, who won his second state championship as head coach of the Bulldogs on Friday night.
So we knew we were going to have to run the ball to be successful. Struggled a little bit early on with it, and I'll tell you what, in the third and fourth quarter, we were really able to run it, and I think that turned the game. Yeah, our defense is unbelievable. I'll tell you what, Jason Gill, our defense coordinator, the preparation he does with our defensive staff, Coach Holloway, our special teams coordinator, Coach Hogan, and Coach Morgan. I tell you what, my coaches are unbelievable. I got the best group of assistant coaches in America, and they prepared like crazy. Our kids knew what was coming at them. I mean, Little Rock Christian, they're as talented as any team in the state. They got weapons everywhere, and to be able to get after them like we did defensively was huge. We knew we were going to have to run him. You don't want to run it when you got a quarterback like Kane back there because you want to protect him, but you get to this point in the year, it's gloves off, and you got to do what we got to do. So we had a game plan. You know, we ran him a few times early on, and he just made plays. You know, we were far from perfect offensively. You know, we missed some stuff and stalled out a few times. It's not like us, but I'll tell you what, the defense been able to get big stops when the offense didn't come through and get us the ball right back so we could go score. That was huge.
Also on Friday night, the Booneville Bearcats punched their tickets to their second straight championship game with a 34-25 win over Glen Rose in the semifinals. After a 13-13 tie at the half, Booneville opened the second half with 3 touchdowns to go up 34-13. Booneville will play Prescott at noon on Saturday at War Memorial Stadium for the Class 3A state title. Also on Friday, Mansfield's playoff run ended with a 28-7 loss at Prescott in the other semifinal. And that brings us to the weekly segment, Gimme 5. These are the top 5 performances of the past week in the River Valley. Number 1, we start with Player of the Week and Class 6A State Championship Game MVP, quarterback Kane Archer, who was 22 of 29 passing for 187 yards and 2 scores, and also ran for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns to pace the Bulldogs to the 41-23 win over Little Rock Christian for Greenwood's 11th state title. Number 2, Greenwood senior running back Braden Davis ran for 156 yards and a touchdown and finished 3rd on the single-season rushing charts for the Bulldogs with 1,582 yards and 24 touchdowns. Number 3, on defense for the Bulldogs on Friday night, Cash Archer led the way with a sack and a half and then a tackle and a half for loss despite constant double and sometimes triple teams. Number 4, the tremendous career of Booneville's Dax Goff will go to the very end as he ran for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns in the 34-25 win over Glen Rose in the semifinals of the Class 3A state tournament on Friday night. Number 5, fullback Rylan Ray added 21 carries for 117 yards and a touchdown for Booneville on Friday to form the Bearcats' lethal 1-2 punch on offense. Sunday's River Valley Democrat-Gazette is still available. This past week we wrapped up Greenwood's championship with full stats, a story, and then a story by Walter Woody on the tremendous defensive effort. Harold McIlvain was in Booneville on Friday and wrapped up the Bearcats' semifinal win. We also had player profiles, basketball style, for the first time this season, and then a basketball notebook by Kevin Taylor, along with a preview of this week's Tournament of Champions at Southside. The paper is available all across the River Valley, including Eastern Oklahoma at Walgreens, Harps, Come and Go, CVS Pharmacy, Casey's, and Walmart. You can subscribe online at rivervalleydemocratgazette.com/subscribe or by calling our customer service line at 479-684-5509. Be sure to follow the River Valley Democrat-Gazette Twitter account as well as mine, Walter Woody's, and Harold McIlvain's as we approach basketball season and then the other prep sports that are going on this winter season. You can view and purchase photos from our award-winning photographers that can be seen and purchased on our website, rivervalleydemocratgazette.com/photo. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're going to wrap up this week's River Valley Sports Report with football photos from War Memorial Stadium as well as Booneville on Friday night. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.